Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing the Atlanta Falcons. Now, when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons, we'll be discussing Arthur Smith. Now, it's been said that Arthur Smith will be sticking around as the Falcons head coach for the remainder of the season, which, in my opinion, is the wrong decision. But let's take a look at Arthur Smith's previous 2 seasons as the Atlanta Falcons head coach and the quarterbacks that he's had as the coach. In 2021, in his first season, we had Matt Ryan as the quarterback, and we went 7-10. That was the season where I believe that they started trying to rebuild. That was the season we got a new GM, new coach, and they started rebuilding, get rid of the worst cuts, the horrible contracts. They traded Julio Jones. They got rid of Matt Ryan. That led into 2022. Marcus Mariota / Desmond Ridder, and we went 7-10. Thankfully, some of that was thankful to Desmond Ridder because it could have been a lot worse, and we could have been in a spot for a quarterback last season. But as it currently stands right now in 2023, the Falcons are currently 4-6. 4-6. And I've gone through the remaining games. We're going to take a look at the remaining games, give you the best possible outcome for the Falcons, the worst possible outcome for the Falcons, and my prediction for what is going to happen with the Atlanta Falcons. So the remaining games goes as follows. Versus the Saints, at the Jets. Versus Buccaneers, at the Panthers. Versus Colts, at Bears, at Saints. You're probably looking at the schedule considering the fact that NFC South is not that very good right now, but considering the fact that some of them are division rivals and we are going to be playing the Saints twice, there's a good chance that we may lose both of these games. Going to be straight honest with you. We're definitely not beating the Buccaneers back. We're not sweeping the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are not going to let that happen. The Panthers, I do not know because the Panthers really need to figure out their offensive line in order to protect Bryce Young, but they can figure out in time before the Falcons game, there's a good chance that Carolina may beat us. So, in terms of the best prediction for the Falcons, we win against the Saints this weekend. We win against the Jets. We lose against the Buccaneers because, like I said, we're not going to sweep the Buccaneers. We win against the Panthers. We lose against the Colts. Win against the Bears, and then lose against the Saints. And that means our record for the end of the season would be an 8-9 record and possible playoff record, considering depending on how the NFC finishes out. Our worst possible record could be winning against the Saints this weekend. I do think that we're going to at least get 1 win against the Saints, and then losing straight out. If that were to happen, we win the Saints and then lose straight out. That would only mean that Arthur Smith is fired and we are going to tank for a quarterback. But at the worst we can do, is finish 5-12. Keep in mind, that is not the worst finish. That is the worst finish I think that is going to happen, that possibly could happen. Because the worst finish at this moment is us losing the rest of the game, rest of the series, and finishing 4-13, which means we would have a high-end chance again, either Caleb Williams or Drake May. And if you had to tell me we either getting Caleb Williams or Drake May, I'd take Drake May. Based on his performances versus competitive teams, I would take Drake May over Caleb Williams. That is it. But in my honest opinion, I want us to trade for Justin Fields, but that all depends on how Justin Fields and the Bears finish towards the end of the season. Now, in terms of my prediction for what happens throughout the end of the season for the Atlanta Falcons, my prediction goes as follows. I think we're going to lose against the Saints this weekend. I just do not see it. There are people saying the Saints are not playing well, but have you met the Saints when they play the Falcons? It's a different type of game. The Saints always play the Falcons competitively. Whether it's Ryan, whether it's Ridder, whether it's Mariota, they always play the Falcons competitively. It does not change the simple factor, and they always somehow manage to put a whooping on the Falcons or put a beating on the Falcons quarterback, and the offensive line is going to have to protect Ridder, who's going to be the starting quarterback for this weekend, and I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe that the Falcons are going to lose against the Saints. I believe the Falcons are going to lose against the Jets next weekend. Reason why? Look at that Jets offense and look at that Jets defense. Yes, the quarterback position is a major problem, but still, that does not change the factor that in terms of overall team ability, the Jets have us outclassed. Plus, they have a better coach in Robert Saleh than over Arthur Smith, because I do not believe in Arthur Smith. I have no faith in Arthur Smith. That is the reason why I think Arthur Smith will be fired whether it's during the season or at the end of the season, Arthur Smith will not be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons after this 2023 season. Next up, we lose against the Buccaneers. I already said it many, many times. We are not beating the Buccaneers twice. That is not going to happen. We barely got the win over them thanks to Koo. Younghoe Koo got us to win that game. We barely won. We're not going to beat the Buccaneers. Then we go against the Panthers. Like I said, if the Panthers can figure out our offensive line, protect Bryce Young, the Panthers have a good shot at beating us, but I think we're going to beat the Panthers. And then we play the Colts. Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss are going to run it down our throats. They're going to run it down our throats, and even then, they got Michael Pittman, they got Alex Pierce, they got guys that Gardner Minshew can throw to, and Gardner Minshew has been playing really well the past couple of weeks. The Falcons are going to lose against the Colts. Then, against the Bears, which is going to be the game I'm going to be watching mostly, because as I've already said, I want Justin Fields as the Falcons head coach, as the Falcons quarterback, head coach. I want Justin Fields as the Falcons quarterback. So I'm going to have the Falcons winning against the Bears, because if they win against the Bears, that means the Bears will be put in a worse spot, and they will be going for a quarterback, reshuffling everything, and that means they'd be willing to trade Justin Fields, which means Justin Fields will be on the call to trade to the Atlanta Falcons. And then at the end of the season, no matter what, we are not going to the Saints. We are not going to New Orleans and beating the Saints. So that means my prediction for the end of the season, if you guys have been keeping up with our current record, which is 4-6, my prediction for the Atlanta Falcons at the end of the season is going to be finishing 6-11. And like I said, if we get another win, that means we finish 7-10. That's four straight seasons at 7-10. Arthur Smith has gone as the head coach, and I want to know your guys' opinions down in the comments down below.